the new staff members coming on board, the excitement of the new staff member, the terror of the new staff member, the horror of going through that early start process. Onboarding a new staff member, it comes up so often, it's so valuable, and it's done wrong so often. I want to talk today about getting a new staff member on board and the onboarding process that will get them up and running quickly, confidently, and let you actually enjoy the process rather than the horror of that staff member who comes on board and just doesn't get there. I'm only going to talk about three things. There are three elements to this. There's time, there's structure, and there's clarity. I'll get a little bit more specific about the three though. When it comes to time, no onboarding process, no induction process has ever failed because the hiring manager spent too long and put too much effort into it. Just doesn't happen. Whereas, of course, many have failed because you're so excited about finding someone, you've recruited, you've interviewed, you've got someone, hopefully you're excited about the person. And you're great, they're qualified, they're going to come in, there's your desk, here's a computer, here's the toilets over there. Great, I'm so excited, you're going to be amazing. That doesn't work. How much time is actually required? Well, it's a rule of thumb, but in my experience, new staff member comes on board. If I'm their manager, then I'm expecting to spend in their first week about 20 hours with them. Yep, 20. It's quite a lot. In the second week, that'll probably cut back to 10 and then 5, and after that, probably regular management schedule. I'm looking to over-index on how much time I spend with them up front, because if a new staff member really gets going and is successful quickly, it's invaluable. It's one of the best investments of time you can make as a manager. So make it. By the way, a note, I would recommend that the induction process starts actually before they start for most roles. Perhaps not every administrative role or functional role, but if prior to beginning with you, they can be receiving and reading a little bit of material. They can be planning a little bit of what they'll be doing. They can be learning a little bit about the business, the team, and so on. And they hit day one, they're already up and running a little bit. So think about starting the onboarding actually before they arrive, and then absolutely commit time to them once they arrive. Second one is simple. In that time, and it won't just be your time, but other members of the team, have a good deal, have a specific plan, have a structure around how that process will go. Part of the reason for this is there is a long list of things they need to get on top of, from the mundane, where is the toilet, to the functional, what are the elements of my job, to the systems, all the different systems they need to know how to operate, to the overall company, what are we all about? What's the culture of this business? What's the history of the business? What's the vision? What's the future of the business? So make sure you've got that long list actually written down, and that you find in the schedule over those first couple of weeks that it's clear when the new employee is going to pick up on all the things they need to learn, and from whom. You as their manager will cover quite a few, of course. Some of those will be just training them. Some of them will just be attending with you a meeting, a client meeting, supplier meeting, a team meeting. Some of them will be with other people. They can learn certain topics from other members of your team. Lay it out in a schedule so they know from day one, and by the way, the team is prepared from day one for how these people are going to get up to speed quickly, how you're all going to educate them and get them into the team and on board. So we've got time and we've got structure. Last one is clarity, in particular, clarity of requirements. It's very simple. On day one, they should know where they need to be, what they need to be achieving by the end of month 1, month 2, and month 3. Now, by month 3, that will probably, for most roles, look a fair bit like their full job, because in most roles, by 3 months in, you want someone to be pretty much fully productive. But if fully productive looks like this job, and there's certain KPIs or outcomes, targets they have to deliver, then you can work back and say, okay, to be on track for that at month 3, where do you need to be at month 2? What are 3 or 4 clear indicators that will tell us you're on track? Or by the way, if you're missing them, will tell us you're off track. They're clear, they're objective, they could be measurable, they could be observable. Likewise, if that's where you need to be at month 2, where do you need to be at the end of month 1? This can include planning goals. You will have a written plan agreed by the team as to what you'll be doing in the first 6 months. It could be learning goals. You will present back to the team on this system or this process to demonstrate that you've mastered it. They can be numerical goals. You're a salesperson, expect you to generate 5 opportunities or 5 new leads in your first month. Got to be clear, objective, observable, measurable. What that's meaning is that at the end of month 1, if they're not on track, in your monthly review, you'll go through that and you'll identify you're not quite on track. How else can we support you? More training, more guidance, more coaching. What can we do? We're going to get you up to speed. Given all of that, given the time and the effort, at the end of month 2, they're still not on track. In my experience, at that point, they're not going to make it. This is the most motivated they'll be. They've just got the job. They've gone after it. You've given them clarity. You've given them training. You've given them your time. Team's given them education. If you're sticking to this process by the end of month 2, if they're not on track, they are highly unlikely to make it. And typically for me, that's when I will call it. That will be the end. They're obviously still on probation. We won't persist anymore. Because that lingering of the employee who's not working out, I just don't see that going well too often. Most of the time though, you do this process and it succeeds. That employee succeeds. They get up and running, and after 2 months, certainly after 3 months, you've got someone who is productive, successful, fantastic member of the team, and that's a thrilling experience. It means everything can grow and your life gets better as their manager. So stick to it. Be clear with them. Give them structure and give it your time and your effort, and enjoy the rewards that you and they will have. All the best now.